Hey, Brad Guy here with Graham, and we're going to be checking out the recent Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga trailer that was shown at the Game Awards. I haven't seen this yet. Graham's seen it.
I have.
I'm gonna
I
take
liked it.
gonna take a look, and yeah, I can't wait to see what they have in store. The first trailer was really impressive, and I think that was the first thing. I think that was before they even announced
Unreal
Unreal
5.
Five's features,
Yep.
so people didn't believe what they saw was real time. But now what we
Mhm.
know about Nanite and Lumen, it seems more plausible. So let's take a look.
And she said,
Their voice acting was so good in the first
with
one.
our
So
Oh, yeah.
swords,
It's still
we
there.
will forge new stories to strike the gods that haunt us.
Just the voice acting and acting out on its own is just so well done. Because I know for Senua, she's basically just scanned all of her enemies
You
are scanned.
might see me
Yeah.
as weak,
man,
but I will show you what lies behind my
those models are
eyes.
nuts. So it's like even just going off of recent stuff like the Matrix reveal, the animation quality is so much better here. Obviously, they're gonna pull the wool over eyes on some things that are pre-rendered or some things that are just really selectively rendered. But these models are like very convincing. Though there's a couple frame hiccups by the looks of things, which means that some things might be real time.
We will embrace
That cloth
our
physics is so
suffering,
good.
soothe our scars of grief, and break their siege of our
Same
minds.
with like the cloud tech as well. That's
I
not
was
like an HDRI. Those are volumetric clouds. They're
Yeah,
really,
this
really,
is.
really
I was
good.
thinking the same thing. Like just in general, the atmospheric fog perspective looks so good. It's like
And also
you,
the
See
mist
them
as
as
well.
gods.
yeah, you get
Yeah, mist
such a
particle
sense
effects,
of
yeah.
Will show you
exactly how far away
what
things
lies
are.
behind their eyes.
They have a lot they could improve about the combat. Oh, there's a big pop in on the character
Yeah.
right there. The whole right there. You can see the face. Something popped in around it. I don't know what it was. And you're still getting sub-pixel breakup on the hair, on the little strands, but
To risk your own life
hair
for
physics
what
is
you
amazing.
believe is your sacrifice
The
to
lighting,
make,
man, off of the torches and
to
stuff.
lead others to
I think the most
death.
impressive thing here is probably
Brings
the
a different
just the bounce
kind
setting
of
from the
burden.
what's it called?
One that Senua would have to learn
From the
to
overcast sky.
Yeah.
Because basically, because prior to like Unreal 5, it's extremely hard to simulate
Yeah.
overcast lighting indoors.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, getting the bounce light to look good in small indoor settings has always been hard.
Yeah.
Can you smell
Without ray tracing, but ray tracing was just so expensive to do the same thing. So,
bones? Look at the bones. That's going to be you. That's going to be everyone.
oh
No
man.
one's ever killed a giant before. What makes you think you can stay down?
Splashes there are pre-rendered, but you know it's
those
okay.
Yeah,
whose
yeah.
eyes are clouded
Yeah.
with fear are besieged
They're using
by the
chromatic
ghosts that haunt
aberration around the outside of the figure.
Senua saw that when
That's
the
like a
wall was
stylistic
break,
thing. It was
It
done in the
is.
first game as well.
Yeah,
Break
it
it
makes it look more like
with
it's
an
being done through like a
unshakable
kind of
truth.
not so great camera, but it does tie the scene together.
an impossible feat.
Get ready. It's about to start.
The audio is just so well done.
I know.
In the last game and in this game,
Get ready.
Yeah.
just the whispers make you feel a
Starts
bit.
the unobeying fire.
I don't know.
So that particle effect had a lower frame rate than the game.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of a cool thing because it's like, if anyone had any doubt that this is in-game, those kind of things tell you it's at the very least done in engine because it has the same compromises that'd be done in-game. We're not
The
playing
fire
it.
simulations though here are also really good.
Yeah, I was looking at that off of
Yeah.
the torches.
Yeah. Lens effects as well.
I'm just smiling. This is so amazing. It's so cool. The like everything's tangibility is stepped up a notch. Just like characters' interactions with the ground, how when they're going through the water, the reflections in the water. I saw some screen space reflections there. I wonder if just because it looked like it was culling the sides of it when it was moving over it, but it could be used.
I'm also thinking that this Lumen, well, the Lumen in this demo isn't actually hardware accelerated.
Yeah.
Because the hardware accelerated one uses ray tracing in combination with Lumen to get like a better result. So that
Yeah.
that's gonna
Yeah. Does it on the
be.
console's profile though?
On the Matrix demo, it was definitely hardware accelerated because you definitely could tell the reflections a lot better. It wasn't just screen space.
That fire effect's less impressive.
Yeah.
It looks like a layer, like a flat 2D plane, but that's the one thing that tells you it's gamey. It's like the way that you stop. It's like trying to interact with the object. The transition between going from not holding it to holding it is stiff for a second as it pairs the two. I wonder how they're definitely gonna have systems that conflict with that solve these problems in the future.
Some of the trailing on the fire, on like those spears that they're throwing, is also kind of showing it's a little bit gamey.
Yeah. I'm curious with the destruction, the environment destruction stuff they're doing, whether they like pre-break up the meshes in Houdini so they have like good split points for.
Likely, yeah.
Yeah. It looks that mesh looks even better outside on that monster,
Yeah.
on the giant. It's kind of interesting because Hellblade kind of started out as like a side project. It was like they didn't even release it full price, which is strange because they didn't want people to think that it was such a big production, but it ended up being loved more than a lot of big productions. I don't know if that helped with it or whether if they released it full price, people would have still loved it the same, because you could tell from a tech and effort perspective, even though the gameplay stuff was pretty limited in the original, like the combat
The
was
story, the tech, and like I think the emotions it gives off are very, very well done.
Yeah, they were very well done in the original, but the combat interface was pretty simplistic, and the puzzling was a little simplistic. So I feel like they felt not as confident as maybe they should be. It's kind of one of these things where like a game project doesn't need to succeed at everything, but the things it succeeds at, it should do very well. So, and that like the storytelling and the audio and the visual experience in the original Hellblade was amazing. So, you know, they have an opportunity here to really push the entire everything really to the next level, and it looks like they're succeeding at that. Like that sense of atmosphere and location there was nuts. Like you believe they're going from place to place. Are there some things that prove it's a game? We're not at movie land yet, but otherwise it's very impressive. Like if you compare it to movie, like pre-rendered movie efforts from 10 years ago, it's better in pretty much every regard.
Yep.
So I don't know, do you have anything else you want to say about this?
I don't think so.
No,
It's very, very exciting project that I definitely want to play.
Yeah, I mean, as we see more and more of these Unreal 5 projects, and this is kind of the thing, because now I'm curious, it's like that equalizes the playing field from a tech perspective to a certain extent, and it's about, I'm curious which art direction jumps above it, kind of, because a lot of the stuff you and me have looked at recently has been what Unreal Engine 5 does, and I'm kind of curious what the alternatives, the other engines like RE Engine, with whether that starts implementing some of the features that we're seeing here when we see mesh shaders come into a lot of these other engines and their equivalents to Lumen and Nanite specifically, and then we'll get different feels probably from each of them, and that's kind of what I'm looking to see when you get slightly different, like that 5 to 10% variance between different PBR setups. That's what I'm curious to see in these different engines, to see which one to really stand out or look more interesting, or do you know what I mean? But like right now, it seems like Unreal's the first one to the playing field with this level of tech. So
yeah, I'm excited to see what competitors are going to come out with.
Yeah.
I know like Unity's on like a pretty big shopping spree, buying up these smaller companies.
Well,
Hopefully
not
that.
Like some of them aren't that small. They bought Weta,
Yeah,
which
about
is
Weta.
like
They also bought Speedtree, so yeah.
yeah,
But,
Weta's a big one though, because
yeah.
they do way more films than you know. The effects
Yeah.
for films. So it's like that's an odd one. Why would you want a movie effects studio in your wheelhouse unless you have some tech you're not talking to people about? Um, the problem Unity has that Unreal doesn't have is mobile is an afterthought to Unreal, and for Unity, it's their primarily
First party
dev
thing.
base. So because their primary devs are on it, they have a hard time releasing. If they release an update to their engine that doesn't work well with mobile, it's going to turn a lot of people off. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
people that try to scale up Unity to AAA levels, but Unreal doesn't really try to scale down quite as much to mobile. So they're kind
So
of sorry,
I
go
feel
for it.
like Unity tries to like appeal to a bunch of different dev audiences, because they have a bunch of render pipelines that are also pretty much all incomplete. Nothing is quite done. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure
They've
they need to.
pivoted a couple times.
Yeah,
Maybe they didn't
yeah,
know some hardware features that are hardware features were going to be as important as they were. Maybe they didn't have
mhm,
as big of an idea of what their competition was doing, and they're playing a bit
yeah,
of catch up now. Fortunately, they have enough of a mobile foothold that they have some time before they're abandoned.
hmm,
So if they pulled something really amazing out of their hat in 2 or 3 years, when we start seeing some of these technologies come down to mobile,
yeah.
then they would still be in good shape and be a competitive engine. Anyways, those are kind of some of my thoughts. Do you have any more?
Mhm. I think I'm all good.
Yeah, I'm good too. So great trailer. Really impressed. I wish I was playing it. That would have been even better. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love what I see. I can't wait to see more. And catch you on the next one. Take care. Where's the stuff?